My girlfriend asked for time to find herself. I gave it. But the truth, exposed in vacation photos with an old flame, turned my pain into a cold decision. Every single one of her items packed and shipped. My status? Single. And then the phone rang. Life, at times, weaves its plots with a subtle cruelty disguised as necessity. For me, a man nearing 30, Tuesday evening had always been a routine refuge, a safe harbor after the week's wins. But it was on one of these seemingly ordinary nights that the 3-year foundation of my existence crumbled. Isabella, the woman who had shared my home, my dreams, and the quiet of my silences, stood before me. Her eyes, which once reflected a shared future, now held a cold distance. The words came, soft, almost a whisper, but with the force of thunder. I need a break. I need to find myself. The phrase, as cliché as it was painful, echoed in the small apartment. I've lost a part of myself. I need space to find it again. No contact, please. It's not you, it's me. I felt the air thin. Confused, hurt, but with a strange resignation, I nodded. If someone needed space to heal, I would give it. That's what you do, right? An awkward hug, an almost inaudible goodbye. Isabella packed a small bag, promising to stay with her sister, Clara, and that she would be in touch when everything was sorted out. The door closed, and with it a part of me. The days that followed were a silent purgatory. The apartment, once vibrant with her presence, became an empty echo. Every corner, every object whispered Isabella's name. I searched for her in the silence, in the absence. With every phone ring, a vain hope. With every sunrise, the same loneliness. I clung to the promise, to the idea that I was respecting her process, her personal journey. But the truth was that uncertainty was a slow poison, corroding my peace. The waiting was torture, and the no contact, an insurmountable barrier that left me adrift. The first week was a personal hell. Every minute dragged, heavy, filled with the echo of Isabella's absence. I missed her, worried about her, and with every thought, I told myself that I needed to respect her process, the journey of self-discovery she had asked for. It was a mantra, a desperate attempt to maintain sanity amidst that deafening silence. 10 days passed, and the routine of trying to convince myself that everything would be all right began to fail. On a random night, as I scrolled idly through a social media feed, a post made me stop. It was from Helena, Isabella's mother. A cheerful, vibrant photo album titled Family Beach Vacation. My stomach churned. The first photo showed Helena, Isabella's father, and Isabella herself, all smiling. My heart tightened, a pang of hope and confusion. But then the second image. Isabella, arm in arm, laughing with a man. He looked familiar. And in the third, a group dinner, Isabella was practically in his lap. My blood ran cold when I saw the tag. Gabriel, 27 years old. Gabriel. The name resonated in my mind like a death knell. Her high school sweetheart. The one she always said meant nothing. Just an old friend. I need to find myself. No contact. Her words returned, but now with a perverse meaning. It wasn't self-discovery. It was a bridge to Gabriel, with her mother as an accomplice, the facilitator of the charade. The audacity, the disrespect, the calculated deceit. She didn't even have the decency to give me a clean break. There was no rage, no shouting, just a coldness that enveloped me, more cutting than any pain. I took screenshots, many of them, each one irrefutable proof. My mind, once clouded by sadness, now operated with frightening clarity. There would be no confrontation, no pleas, only a response. A response that would be as calculated as the betrayal I had just discovered. There was no explosion of anger, no desperate calls or furious messages, just an unsettling quiet that settled within me. I didn't scream, I didn't cry. I just acted. I took more screenshots, each one a nail in the coffin of our history. And then I went to the spare room, which for years had served as Isabella's expanded closet and art dump. I spent the next 3 days immersed in a methodical, almost ritualistic task. Every single one of Isabella's items, clothes, shoes, brushes, books, the small trinkets she collected, was carefully packed. Sturdy boxes, bubble wrap, packing tape. I made a detailed inventory, item by item, photographing the contents of each box before sealing it. I documented everything with an almost obsessive precision. The cost of the courier service, about $280 for a dozen large boxes, insured and tracked, was an investment in my own peace. The destination? Her parents' address, in Helena and Isabella's father's name. The day the tracking confirmed delivery, I acted again. I logged into my social media. Relationship status, single. I blocked Isabella on all platforms. I blocked Helena. I blocked Gabriel. I deleted her number from my phone. I deleted our photos, except for a few I kept on a secure drive, just in case. It was a clean, clinical cut. For about 3 weeks, there was a blessed silence. I went back to the gym, reconnected with friends I had neglected, focused on work. Life suddenly felt lighter, more my own. Then, last night, an unknown number. Hello. The voice, hesitant, almost a whisper, was Isabella's. It's me, Arthur. She seemed to expect a reaction, perhaps a scream, perhaps tears. But I was calm. I said, my voice as neutral as possible. What can I do for you? I think I'm ready to talk now. I've done a lot of thinking. I'm ready to figure things out with us. She paused, letting the phrase hang in the air, full of an expectation I didn't feel. Isabella, I said, my voice firm and emotionless. There is no us to figure out. If this story has you hooked, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps us bring more gripping tales like this one to you. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what happens next. A long silence followed my statement. The grinding of gears in Isabella's mind was almost audible. What? Arthur, what are you talking about? I said I needed a break, not that we were breaking up. Her indignation was palpable, but it sounded hollow. You said no contact to find yourself. I respected that. And you see, I found some things too. Found what? That you can't live without me. Her laugh, laden with absurd presumption, made me roll my eyes. No, Isabella. I figured out I don't want to be with someone who lies to go on vacation with an old flame. The silence that followed was even denser. Ow, how did you know about that? Her voice was an incredulous whisper. Your mother tagged Gabriel in the family vacation photos, Isabella. Publicly. Oh my God. That was Mom. She's so clueless with social media. Clueless or complicit? I bet on the latter. Clueless or not, it painted a clear picture. You needed space to see if things with Gabriel could work, while keeping me on the back burner. No, it wasn't like that. Gabriel was just there. It was a family thing. He's friends with my brother. It just happened. Things don't just happen, Isabella. Decisions are made. You decided to lie to get cozy with him. You were confused. That was part of your journey. My voice started to rise, but I reined it in, and I respected your journey so much that I facilitated its next stage. What does that even mean? It means all your belongings have been shipped to your parents' house. They arrived. Tracking showed them delivered about 3 weeks ago. Your father signed for them. The silence on the other end of the line was deadly. You what? Her voice was barely a whisper. I packed your things. Everything. And sent them. Since you were on a journey, I figured you wouldn't want to be burdened by attachments to our old life or our apartment. You did what? My paints, my vintage jacket, my grandmother's earrings. You can't just do that. Actually, I could. And did. It's all there. Inventory list for each box, if you'd like. Your grandmother's earrings were in box 7. Bubble wrapped. Petty, maybe. Satisfying? Absolutely. Arthur, this is insane. Vindictive. I was coming back. We were going to work through this. Work through what? Isabella? You vacationing with another guy while telling me you needed solitude? Or expecting me to wait like a schmuck until you decided if your high school romance had legs? It wasn't a romance. It was complicated. It's not complicated anymore. It's over. Relationship status. Single. Just so we're clear. Then the crying. Real or frustrated, who knows? But my stuff. Fragile things. What if something broke? I packed it better than you ever did. Insured. But honestly, Isabella, that's your problem now. You're such a, after everything, 3 years of my life. And I gave you 3. The difference is I didn't end it by sneaking off with an ex. Then a new voice shrill. Arthur, this is Helena. What in God's name do you think you're doing to my daughter? Ah, the enabler. Helena, with all due respect, this is between Isabella and me. Or rather, it was. Now it's concluded. You can't just throw her things out. She's devastated. That trip was a misunderstanding. Gabriel is just a family friend. A family friend she was practically straddling in the photos you posted. Helena, well, I never. You're twisting things. Isabella was vulnerable, needed comfort. She told me she needed space and no contact. If she found herself in Gabriel's arms, that's her prerogative. And it's my prerogative to end our relationship, Helena. Mommy, he sent all my designer bags. What if the courier stole them? Isabella's voice, hysterical. Apologize and fix this, Arthur. She was willing to give you another chance. The entitlement was breathtaking. Helena, there's nothing to fix. Isabella made her choices. I made mine. The only thing left is for her to unpack. Suggest she starts with emotional baggage. Oh wait, I didn't pack that one. Cruel. Heartless. Young man, after all we've done for you, I appreciate your past hospitality, which is why I sent Isabella's belongings to your hospitable home. Good evening. I hung up, blocked that unknown number. Felt good. Draining. Their audacity was exhausting. About 10 days of blissful quiet. I started to think they'd gotten the message. Silly me. Next move, an email. An official-looking scam letter from a lawyer. My stomach flipped. Isabella seeking $5,000 compensation for emotional distress, displacement, loss of shared assets due to my precipitous and unwarranted termination of a long-term cohabiting relationship. Also, misappropriation of valuable personal items. I laughed out loud for a solid minute. The valuable personal items bit was rich, given my packing. My lawyer, who once helped me with a lease, super chill, charged me $200 for this. He drafted a polite but firm respectfully get lost response. It detailed Isabella's voluntary departure, the no-contact break to find herself. Evidence. Helena's Instagram posts of the premeditated trip with Gabriel, copies of courier dockets, signed delivery confirmation, complete inventory photos of box contents. And a note that further harassment or extortion attempts would meet a countersuit for harassment and defamation. My lawyer also noted that since we weren't married and had no joint assets, her claimed loss of shared assets was baseless. I sent it off. The ensuing silence was deafening. More final. About a week later, I heard through the grapevine from a neutral mutual acquaintance, secretly Team Arthur, what had happened. Isabella had a massive meltdown from my lawyer's response. Helena, furious. Their legal threat backfired. Gabriel, realizing Isabella came with drama and potential legal bills, decided their rekindled flame wasn't worth it. He told Isabella he wasn't ready for all this baggage and wished her well. Oh, the irony. So Isabella, single again, back at her parents' house, surrounded by her boxes, reportedly furious I ruined her life. Miserable. Helena blaming me for driving Gabriel away and traumatizing her daughter. Zero self-awareness. Astounding. The best part? The acquaintance said some mutual friends whom Helena tried to rally against me started asking awkward questions. But didn't she go on vacation with Gabriel while with Arthur? Didn't Helena post those photos? Their smear campaign backfired. People see manipulative behavior. The revenge, if you call it that, was just letting them face natural consequences. No screaming. I didn't engage beyond what was necessary. Calmly, methodically, I closed every door. I presented facts. They presented fiction. Fact. Do I feel satisfaction knowing Isabella's grand plan blew up, leaving her with nothing but her stuff and a lesson I doubt she learned? Yeah, I'm human. Not cheering joy, more a quiet sigh of relief that the toxicity is out. Karma, or cause and effect, did its thing. It's been a few weeks since the lawyer letters. Absolute silence. I changed my number just in case. I feel lighter. The ordeal sucked. Moments of real hurt, feeling played. But handling it with strategy instead of raw emotion left me with peace. I stood up for myself, respected myself, refused to be manipulated. I'm actually going on a date next week. Someone new. No expectations. Just moving on. My apartment feels like my space. Life is good. To anyone dealing with betrayal wrapped in entitlement, stay calm. Document everything. Draw hard lines. Sometimes the best revenge is removing yourself and letting their own chaos be their undoing.